Now we are joined with a phone call by our guest, Dr. Aya El Garhy, Professor of Transport Logistics and Support Chain Management. Good afternoon, Dr. Aya.
Good afternoon, dear.
Dr. Aya, first of all, Egypt now leads Africa in the number of seaports and trade terminals. What factors contributed to this achievement?
We have several factors in Egypt as expansions in the ports, the new projects in the Egyptian ports, also the equipment, the new equipment that have a great utilization in the berth occupancy in the ports. So all the new achievements recently done in the Egyptian ports, all these are factors in increasing the trade in the seaports.
Well, how do Egypt's ports compare to those in other leading African nations?
Egypt has several distinctives than the African nations because they plan how to increase or affect positively their seaports. For example, the latest agreement, like yesterday, the agreement has signed between the Egyptian ministry and the Ministry of Morocco.
Yes.
We have several free trade agreements that positively affect the Egyptian ports.
Well, how has the expansion of the seaports impacted the Egypt economy and trade volume?
For sure, for sure. By the way, all over the world, the seaborne trade have the most or the biggest percentage in the modes of transport in the seaborne trade. So these expansions have, for example, the dry ports, the new projects of the dry ports also have a positive effect in the hinterland connectivity that affects the seaport itself. So we now have a space or an extra space to absorb extra export or extra transshipment like the EFT ports.
Well, Dr. Aya, what role do these ports play in positioning Egypt as a global trade hub?
Egypt is a global trade hub and it has several ports. This is its mission. Like yes. The Port Said, East Port Said port, its main mission is to be a transshipment hub for Egypt. So it is the window for the European countries.
Yes. How do you see Egypt's ports contribute to the African continental free trade area?
As I told you now, the free trade area, we have contributed in several free trade agreements for the Egyptian ports. So this is mainly affects the trade in this area.
Right. Dr. Aya, can you highlight some of the most important port development projects completed recently?
For sure, Tahia Masr in Alexandria port and
yes.
the Abu Qir port.
Yes.
And 6th of October dry port.
Yes.
These are main projects have recently completed.
Yes. How is Egypt ensuring that the port expansion align with the environmental sustainability?
First of all, it's one of the SDGs that Egypt has followed by 2030.
Yes.
For example, Egypt has a new project in East Port Said that the bunkering, for example, for the vessels, they yes. have a terminal that can provide bunkering by green hydrogen. So this affects the sustainability. Second, the dry port in 6th of October is the first dry port in Egypt that have a certificate to be a green dry port.
Yes.
So Egypt has considered this in any expansion or in any new project they are planning to.
Well, what measures are in place to reduce carbon emissions and pollution from maritime activities?
Yes, we considered, or Egypt considered this in the maritime ports. For example, you have the Mieta port have the first initiative to give incentives to the vessels who follow the rule for reducing carbon dioxide, for example, to switch off the motors before entering the port, and several instructions they put it for the vessels, and the vessel who follow these instructions, they took incentives.
Yes. Finally, Dr. Aya, what challenges that you see that Egypt is facing in maintaining its lead in post infrastructure?
For sure, the financial perspective, the financial challenge is the biggest challenge.
Yes.
Because this is a huge investment. For example, to increase the terminal length, or to have a major bridging in a seaport, or to buy new equipment. This is a huge investment. So the financial, we can consider the financial challenge is first one, and the second challenge, when we introduce a new thing like the single window, any technological improvement in the Egyptian port, people should be trained on this, and the system as a whole should follow the new consideration, or the new software that should be adopted. So this is also another challenge.
Well, Dr. Aya El Garhy, Professor of Transport Logistics and Support Chain Management, thank you so much for joining us today with your phone call in Cairo local time. Ladies and gentlemen, we will go for a short break and come back again. Stay with us.